Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into the YouTube channel. This week I'm doing different presentations and baits that I feel like are seasonally appropriate for that late summer, early fall transition type period. It's notoriously a tough time of year to get and stay on bass, so these are some things that have worked really well for me and I want to share them with you. Before I get right into it, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that. It's probably one of the best things that you can do to help grow the channel, and I'd certainly appreciate it. So, late August, moving into September and early fall, one of my favorite ways to catch them is on a square bill crankbait. The square bill crankbait is in its prime when the water temperature is really hot and fish are relating to targets, whether it's dock posts or stumps or root wads, or any type of cover, maybe even riprap. But traditionally, this bait over the years and this particular pattern is something that works really well when the fish are in the backs of creeks. And it's surprising, you might think, well, James, you're a little ahead of the ball, but really late August, you'll start to see a migration of shad in the backs of creeks, and not all of them will have shad, or they might have shad and not all of them will have bass, so you're gonna have to move around, but this is a great bait to do that with. And what you're gonna do with this is you're gonna look for a specific type of cover, typically hard targets, wood, laydowns, stumps, any kind of root wads. Those types of hard targets will cast a shadow and those fish will relate to it, waiting for something to come by. Here comes your crankbait. And what's great about this type of bait is with the square bill, you can run it into that piece of cover. And when it hits that piece of cover, whether it's a limb, or like I say, a log, lay down, stump, different things like that, or even a dock post, it'll deflect off that piece of cover and that directional change is gonna get those fish to trigger. This is just a bait and pattern that's been around for a long time. And it seems like it really shines when you have that hot water of the summer followed by shortening of the days. This is when this really starts to take off. And to get even more specific, this is when you want to reach for your little square bills, your 1.0s. And those little baits like that will work really well because the shad that was spawning back in May, post-spawn, is now about this size, about a 1.0 size crankbait. And this will match it really well when you get up in those shallows. And I'm talking about skinny stuff. A lot of times you're on mud flats with scattered wood or scattered targets, shadows, little breaks, different things like that. And you cast this in and around. You got to be bold with it. You got to be able to, not worry about losing your bait and run that square bill right into the cover, and it'll deflect. You're gonna get hung up sometimes. That's just the nature of the beast. It'll deflect off there and you'll get bit. So this is something that predominantly I'm gonna do in the backs of creeks, in the backs of pockets, and I might have to run 3 or 4 of them in order to find an area where the fish and the shad are really at. But once you find them, it can be a great spot for a month or so. It can really be, it could even last longer than that. And so I'm gonna be reaching for those little bitty square bills like that. Here's a 1.0, and then see this little bitty guy right here. I'm gonna be reaching for these little square bills because, again, the shad are small, and these imitate that little bitty shad. Works really well at locating and trying to catch those fish. So this is predominantly the backs of creeks, and the best creeks are the ones that actually have some type of flow at some time of the year. Now, you might not have that flow in August, but at some point there would be a creek that feeds in the back there where there's an actual creek channel, and that's another great place to catch them. You get as far back as you can where, say, the boat is sitting in 3 feet, and you're gonna present those square bill crankbaits to the edge of those creek channels and crank them down. And once it comes over, say, that lip like this, and in that little ledge area, that's where you're gonna get some of these bites. You're gonna actually run these in and around those shade lines, run around those root wads, laydowns, any type of cover that you might have up there. And if there's no cover, look for those balls of bait, look for the presence of bait, bluegill, bass, anything like that. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cover water and look for those bass with my square bill crankbaits. And again, sometimes they want a larger one, and then sometimes they're going to want a little itty bitty one as well. So keep an open mind, throw a couple of different sizes, and cover water. And then again, if you don't find them in one creek, move to the next. But the best ones, again, are the ones that typically have a defined creek channel in the back. And a lot of those will get silted in over the years, but the presentation is key. I'm gonna throw those square bill crankbaits on your traditional casting gear. I like a shorter rod, like a 7 to 7.2. I'm generally gonna go with your 14-pound test Gamma Edge fluorocarbon. I feel like that's a great middle of the road, gonna enable the bait to get a lot of action, but also gonna give me the abrasion strength so that when I'm in and around those fish and that cover, I can bring them out of there. So make sure you're throwing your square bill crankbaits this time of year. It's a great way to catch them, a great way to cover water, and it's just a lot of fun when you can see that ambush target, present the bait, crank it right back by the target, and you can actually, a lot of times you'll see the fish roll. You might see the flash underneath the water, but it's just a fun way to fish because you can almost call your shots. The square bill crankbait, one of my favorite ways to catch them as we move out of summer and into fall, and then you can throw that all the way into November. Thanks for tuning into the YouTube channel. If you got anything out of it, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Also, go to the description section, check out my links to my merch, Team Niggemeyer Fishing, Facebook, Instagram, website, as well as a 20% off discount code for Amphibia Eye Gear. If you're looking for a great pair of sunglasses, Amphibia Eye Gear has patented air cell technology, so if you throw your sunglasses in the lake for some reason, they will float, as well as ANSI rated lenses are available in some of the styles so that if something hits you in the eye, the glasses don't shatter, they actually will not damage your eyes. Until next time, thanks for watching and good fishing.